Hello and welcome to or back to my channel. I'm Kit, your friendly feminist cat lady spinster, and today we're going to talk about boundaries. Before we get into the video, just some quick housekeeping. I have timestamps in the description box below if you'd like to get right into the video. If you like this video, please like and leave a comment. If you dislike this video, please dislike and leave a comment. Any engagement is good engagement to the algorithm. If you enjoy my channel, please subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, I'm so glad you're here. And so is Ellie. Yeah. You're so silly. My social media is linked below. I'm Candidly Kit on Instagram and Twitter. I also have a Patreon now. If you really like my content, please think about becoming a patron. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want to do none of the above, that's totally fine. And now, let's get back to the video. SSM posted a video titled, 53-year-old lifelong bachelor shares his top boundaries to greatly minimize BS in relationships. And I thought, boundaries are a fun, well, maybe not fun, but important topic. So let's have a watch, and then I thought it'd be a great discussion to have. So here we are. I also want to note that though SSM is talking about men dating women, I'm talking about anyone dating anyone. Boundaries are always important. Let's just get right on into it.
This is from a guy. He is 53 years old, a lifelong bachelor, and he emailed me because he wanted to share with me and to share with you guys, in his view, the top 9 boundaries that all guys should have when it comes to women.
This might be a radical viewpoint, but I don't think you should only have boundaries for dating. I think you should have them just in general.
And particularly, obviously, the guys that date and do relationships and all that. Things that guys should pretty much understand and lay out from the beginning in some situations to ensure minimal amount of BS and obviously deal breakers in case things go bad and when it's time to pick up and leave. Because what he goes over here, guys, is dead on with a lot of things and problems I see in all the different stories and articles and things I go over here in this channel. And so this guy, 53 years old, he's got a lot of life experience, and this guy obviously knows what he's talking about. So for you dating a relationship, guys, it will definitely help you guys out, because I know, whether you want to admit it or not, I think a majority of the audience here do dating and relationships.
I would love to know what he's basing this on, because based on the comments on his videos that I've seen, I would say most of his viewers actually don't like women. I'm not saying they're gay, I'm just saying that they don't seem to like women.
So this will definitely help you guys out. So he starts off, he says, hello SSM. I love the channel. I've seen friends go through some of the very expensive divorces, and I'm hoping some of my ideas can help some guys out. I am 53 years old, a confirmed bachelor. Full disclosure, I'm in a relationship but never married. Please keep my name anonymous if you make this video. I have also come close to popping the question 3 times. One was ended by me, and the other 2 the women ended. There will not be a 4th time. Well, good, bro. You came awfully close. But I'm glad you ended up okay.
I have some thoughts on this, but it would probably get me in trouble, even more so than just making this video at all.
He says, with the exception of my first girlfriend, he says she was a good one. My current one is good so far. I always tell women what the boundaries are.
That's good. I think a lot of us do have boundaries. We just don't really understand how to articulate them, which is a very important part of having boundaries.
It may turn some women away, but it will save a ton of headaches in the long run.
That's true. And if that turns someone away and makes them not want to date you, well, it's probably for the better, because clearly you weren't going to be a good fit anyway. And your boundaries are for you. They're not to make other people feel better.
Yes, exactly. You need to lay down your terms to make things abundantly clear. And yes, guys, when doing so, some women you're going to turn away. So what? There's plenty of them out there. The problem is that a lot of guys have what is referred to as a scarcity mindset, and they pretty much think they really can't get anything and don't think too highly of themselves.
I have been in that scarcity mindset, and it is bad. It just leads you to putting up with a whole bunch of behaviors that you ordinarily wouldn't tolerate, but you think that you'll never find someone else, and so you just let the other person walk all over you, which is not healthy and not the recipe for a fulfilling, healthy relationship.
Therefore, they tolerate BS in their lives, don't stand up for themselves, don't set boundaries, etc., etc. But when you have done your work on yourself, building yourself up to the best you can be, self-improvement, on your grind, the things I talk about all the time, when you make yourself the best you can be and you're doing well, You don't tolerate any shit from anyone, especially women.
So there are some boundaries that really only apply with dating, but you shouldn't only have boundaries with the opposite sex. You should have just boundaries in general. And also, boundaries are a sign of a healthy self-respect. It's not something that you only deserve because you're on your grind or you're the best you can be or anything like that. Even if you're at a very low point in your life, you should still have boundaries. You deserve to have boundaries. Just because you're not where you want to be or think you should be in life does not mean that you deserve to be walked all over.
And you can't for women, because the second they lose respect for you, it's done. And they're always going to test. They're always going to do these little things just to make sure you're still strong, you're still a leader. That same guy that they liked initially, they want to make sure you're that same guy.
So, radical hot take here, but if someone is testing you, just end the relationship right there. It is not worth the headache or the hassle.
But you got to be able to, if you're not strong, if you don't see yourself as have value and know that you can replace her like that with someone younger, better looking, cooler, whatever, problems are going to arise. So I want to mention that first before any boundaries are set, because guys that don't think very highly of themselves aren't going to set boundaries. That's not what nice guys, your stereotypical nice guys, do.
Those stereotypical nice guys, though, aren't actually nice guys. They're guys that pretend to be nice because they want sexual favors in return, which is not actually being nice at all.
They don't set boundaries. She sets the boundaries, and the nice guys follow them.
In my experience, nice guys are the ones always trying to overstep boundaries, and I don't understand his point here. Is he trying to say that a woman's boundaries shouldn't be respected?
High value guys, however that's called, high value, high status, high whatever, or the bad boys or whatever, they set boundaries. So,
everyone can and should have boundaries. It's not a zero-sum game where only one person in a relationship gets to have their boundaries respected. Everyone should have boundaries, and those boundaries should be respected.
Boundary number 1, he says, make it very clear that you will never lay a hand on a woman. But if she comes at you with a weapon or tries to hit you, then it's open season. Yes, I do not in any way, shape, or form advocate attacking or laying a hand on the gals, okay? Believe me, we can all understand there are times when just, we're going crazy and we want to. Not a good idea. First of all, I think guys that do that are pussies, but also, your ass is going to jail. We all know darn well about that. So, no, you don't, no matter how bad it gets, unless, as he said here, someone's actually attacking you with a weapon or something like that. Then that's a different ballgame. And as best can to deflect, get off me, throw her off and get out of there. But even then, it's a tough situation. But any gal that actually resorts to anything like that, it's over. Make that abundantly clear.
This is a good boundary to have. You should respect yourself enough to know that if someone abuses you in any way, shape, or form, physically, mentally, financially, emotionally, does not matter. The relationship should be done and there should be no second chance. I think that might sound harsh, but I can't imagine a scenario in which someone can treat someone else that way, especially someone they claim to love, and then they're told it's wrong and the person is leaving, and then they magically change and become a good person. I'm skeptical about that. It's just better to have a clean break.
Number 2, if she cheats, it's over immediately. No forgiveness, married or not. Yes, that is one of the most common things in the videos I do. When guys email me their stories or the stories they find online, these gals cheat and they still take them back. And big surprise, they keep doing it. Because if the guy allows that, that shows to her, this guy has no self-respect. This guy is weak as can be. I can do whatever I want to him. And they keep doing it. Gal cheats on you guys, it's over. Move on. End of story. No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't care what kind of waterworks she puts out in front of you, which she will, or the reasons, or twisting things around and make it your fault. You walk. Because aside from the fact that she's not going to respect you and it's going to get worse and she'll do it again, you're not going to feel too great about yourself because deep down you'll know you were weak by allowing it. Okay? And what does it say about her as a person, as a character, all that, and also how she sees you if she does that. Very important.
Yep, in my opinion, there is no excuse for cheating. If you're feeling unhappy, unfulfilled, or whatever, use your words and talk to your partner and see if you can fix it. And if your relationship can't be fixed, then just end it and then go sleep with whoever you want. In my opinion, there is no excuse for cheating.
Again, these are things, these are boundaries you set early on, make her aware.
Well, of course you should state your boundaries, but if someone assaults you or cheats on you and then says, I didn't know that wouldn't be okay, I mean, come on.
Number 3, and this is longer, but I'll explain. He says, if she starts complaining that the relationship is not going anywhere, and if you're stringing her along, the rebuttal is the first year does not count. Yes, first year, we're still getting to know each other.
I think it'd be better to tell someone up front, like, hey, the first year, we're still getting to know each other and all that. I'm not interested in getting married until after 3 or 4 years, instead of waiting until someone's like, hey, it's been a year, where's my ring? Although, I mean, do people still do that nowadays? Date for a year and then think it's time for marriage? Because that seems really quick to me.
3 to 4 years after is not too much to ask, considering what men have to lose if things go wrong. I don't care what your biological clock is telling you, men have more to lose. Men always have more to lose. I will not bring children into this world until I'm sure I'm in a solid marriage or relationship. However, their true colors are showing in the first couple of years. If she seems too perfect, beware of the bait and switch. If she's pulling a bait and switch, eventually she will get tired of putting on the act and her true colors will come out. If crazy/stupid, punt. Yeah, so in other words, if she's complaining you're not moving too fast in the first year, hey, it's the first year, we're getting to know each other, I like to take my time. And guess what? Women all people appreciate things they have to work towards, but women especially, if a guy just, after the first date, he's ready to be in a relationship with her, she's going to be like, well, you're not that high value if you're ready to be with me after one date.
I hate these phrasings, but it's not that someone's not high value if they want to be with me after one date. It's that they don't care who they date. I'm just the nearest person available. So it's not me they want to date. It's just someone, which does not make for a good or healthy relationship, in my opinion.
But she has to work to get you. That's going to make her treat you better and appreciate what she's got. Now, don't get me wrong. You're going to have plenty that the second they get you, are going to be like, and treat you like crap or bullshit will start. But this is why it's always made known you have boundaries and you can replace her like this and you can walk like this if she's disrespectful, disloyal, any number of bad things, And also, you want to spend years with someone if you're going to get serious with her to really see what she's like. People can hide who they are for a long time, but eventually it will come out.
So it's been a few years, but I read the Not Your Mother's Rules by Sherry Snyder and Ellen Fine, and they essentially advocate for doing what he just said, which is like date for a bit, and then after marriage, you can reveal your true self because then, you're stuck in a marriage with no alternatives, which is really weird because the first book was written in the 90s. So it's not as though divorce wasn't an option back then, but whatever. Anyway, and yeah, I really don't understand that line of thinking. Like, I'll hook them and then after marriage, once we're trapped, I'll reveal my true self. Because that does not at all sound fulfilling or happy to me. I mean, wouldn't you rather be loved for who you are than for who you're pretending to be? But okay, whatever.
Okay, number 4, he says, if you get involved with a single MOM, and he says in parentheses, I don't recommend it, make it very clear marriage and cohabitation will not happen until her kids are out of the house. They never move back in. Yes, I don't recommend that either, by the way, dating these single MOMs. And don't get me wrong, there are cool ones out there. I know some, okay, and they're very cool, have their shit together and everything. But there are other things associated with them that can be a major headache to a guy. And for you guys in this channel that are working hard to improve yourselves, move up in the world, whether it's in your job or starting a business or growing your business, you have minimal time for bullshit, okay? And there's going to be headaches, especially with there's little kids involved. Doesn't mean she's a bad person. Doesn't mean the kids are bad kids. It's just that you don't need this. But yeah, kids are out of the house. If you're going to get serious with it that way, then the kids are out of the house and moved on because you're going to have some serious headaches when the kids are involved. And I've done this in other videos. Of course she loves her kids. Of course the kids are going to take precedence with her, especially when they're little. But that's what, as a single guy, you don't need. So if you do dating relationships, it's easier. You're just with a gal who doesn't have any kids.
This sounds more like a preference than a boundary to me, but you should also know your preferences, and if you don't want to date a single parent, then you should not date a single parent.
Number 5, inform her ultimatums are a forbidden subject. Yes, guys, so many guys cave to these ultimatums that their girls give them. If anything, it should be the other way around.
The other way around how? Like men should be giving women ultimatums or...
But so many guys do that. And why do guys cave to ultimatums? Because they don't think highly of themselves. They have a low self-esteem, low self-worth. Well, I better do this to make her happy or she's going to leave me. Would you respect someone that you gave ultimatums to and they just took it? Think about that. No. girl gives ultimatums, if she's giving you an ultimatum on a Monday and you go along with it, she's going to give you an ultimatum on a Tuesday and a Wednesday and a Thursday because she can see she can get her way with you. And last time I checked, women aren't attracted to guys that they can get their way with.
I just don't think that in a healthy relationship, ultimatums should be occurring from anyone involved in said relationship.
Notice the guys they really attracted to and treat like the king are the guys they can't get their way with. So understand that. Now, on occasion, let's just say for argument's sake, she's a girl who's traditional and she's conservative and she wants a family and everything like that, and she spent some years with you and you're the type of guy, hey, you'll do relationships but you ain't get married, but she really wants to get married, maybe because she's religious or conservative, all that, and then she lays an ultimatum saying pretty much, it's been 5 years, I really want to get married, if not, I gotta go. That's a situation where it's a little understandable on her part. I'm fair here.
Okay, but if marriage is important to you, wouldn't you bring it up before the 5-year mark? I mean, okay, so personally for me, ultimatums are a no-go. If you want something or you need something or whatever, you can talk to me about it like a rational human instead of letting it build up in your mind until you become resentful and end up issuing an ultimatum. That would be the much healthier and preferable way of doing things. And I personally have never wanted to get married, but if I did and it was really important to me, I'm pretty sure it would be a discussion before 5 years were up and I felt the need to be like, hey, marriage or I'm gone. I just don't see how that's helpful or preferable or healthy or anything good, really.
However, if you don't want to get married, then you don't do it.
I agree. Marriage is something that is very serious, and if it's not something that you want, you should not do it. However, you should also be upfront about how you will never be getting married. That way, if the person you're talking to does want to get married in the future, they will know that you are not the person they will be marrying, and they can either continue talking to you and develop a relationship with you and change their mind about marriage, or they can say, oh, okay, we're not compatible, and move on to someone who does want to get married. While we're here, please don't ever date someone with the intention of changing them. That never works and never leads to happy outcomes.
But a lot of times ultimatums are just minor stupid shit. Okay, next one. Number 6. He says, if she starts smoking, gets body piercings other than earrings, tattoos, or gets shit-faced drunk or stoned, where you have to scrape her off the floor with a spatula, it is over. Gambling would be included as well. Someone who cannot control their vices can ruin your life. Yes, guys, this is where being with them for a number of years to really see what they're like. Hence, like he said, if she really gets out of control when she drinks or drugs or starts getting tattoos everywhere or gambling problems or money spending problems, those are no-go because it's going to impact you. Okay, trust me, and especially if you're foolish enough to marry a chick like this. Okay, so this is why it's been years with her to see all what she's like in different situations and scenarios, and who she's with, her friends, what they're like, her family, exactly. But these types of vices, the smoking, the drinking, the gambling, no way.
I see and agree smoking, gambling, drinking so much that someone is on the floor and can't walk, but how are tattoos and piercings vices? How do they negatively impact someone else's life?
Number 7. Most importantly, inform her if you are put into a position where you have to choose between your friends and family and her, it is over. Right. I tell you guys all the time, in terms of the order of importance, in my opinion, your purpose, your grind, your self-improvement, your ambitions in life, that's number 1. Number 2, your health, fitness, eating well, taking care of yourself. Number 3, your best bros, your circle of friends. Number 4, your family. Okay. Also, by the way, the cat and the dog are in there too. She's at the bottom. So there are women out there that will guaranteed try to distance you from your friends and family because they want you all to themselves. Okay, and that's nice initially in the sense that if they really are into you and they just obviously want to spend more time with you, that's one thing. But there are other ones do it for control, to that way make you reliant on her. Okay, and I'm sure there are guys out there watching this now that have had girlfriends in the past, hopefully not the present, that have tried to do this and cause a rift between family and friends. No way. No girl comes between your best bros or your family. Never. Okay? So watch out, guys.
Also, alienating someone from their family and friends is an abuser's tactic. But this is a tough one for me because I know from experience that family and friends don't necessarily always have your best interests at heart, and sometimes they do need to be distanced from. However, if it is not your family or friends, it might just be better to walk away from the situation instead of saying something. I mean, it depends on the relationship and how invested in that relationship you both are, but in some situations, it might be easier to just let it go. Personal story, I just met my great uncle for the first time 2 years ago because his wife insisted that he go low to no contact with his family, and she was right because my grandfather's brothers would always come around encouraging him to drink, even though he is a paranoid schizophrenic who should not be drinking, and encouraging him to cheat on my grandmother. They were not a healthy or good influence on him, and I can see why someone would not want to put up with that. So it's not always coming from a place of control. But I mean, really, whoever you are in this scenario, you have to use your common sense.
Number 8, bailing out irresponsible friends and family out of trouble will never happen. Translation, her friends and family, you're not going to be the white knight and take care of her friends and put yourself in an inconvenient situation and stuff like that. A lot of guys get roped into, she has friends and family, he ends up becoming the savior to save them. Oh, no, not at all.
That's a good boundary.
And number 9, make it clear that if she ever raises her voice to you, it's over. She never does that, ever. Right, exactly. If there's an issue, disagreement, you need to talk things through. You can't have relationships without having disagreements or things like that. It's one thing to communicate in a healthy adult manner that someone's upset and things like that, but to scream at you and belittle you and start throwing dishes and stuff like that, raising the voice, essentially, all that, no, not cool, disrespectful. If you're not doing that, don't give her a right to do that. Exactly.
So the ending there threw me for a bit of a loop because I don't think anyone should be yelling at anyone. Even if someone is yelling at you, I would recommend just leaving because it can escalate from there when tempers get too heated, and that would just be a very bad situation all around. But anyway, yes, I agree with this boundary. If someone yells at me, I'm gone. We are 2 rational adults. There is no need to yell. And also that never resolves things. So SSM ended his video asking what boundaries his subscribers would add to the list, and let's take a look at some of their responses. There's a major one he forgot to list. If you have large debt like credit card or college loan, or is a spendthrift. So while anyone can have a large college loan, the women usually have a mindset, especially if the guy is making more money, that he should help her pay off her loan. That should be a no-no, especially credit card. This yells out if you ever have a joint bank account, something I don't recommend, or live together, there's something to stop her from getting a credit card in your name, going crazy, and have you stuck paying or fighting to clear your name. So it is reasonable to not want to pay off someone else's debt, and it's very generous of someone to offer, but it shouldn't be expected. It is quite a wild leap, however, to go from college loans to taking out a credit card in someone else's name. Pretty sure that's fraud. 10. If you text or call me, I'll answer when I'm not tied up with something and shouldn't have to explain myself. Women can get aggravating with expecting instant contact. If I'm busy with something, then I'm busy. If I'm asleep, then I'm asleep. I'm glad my wife isn't an insecure pest. She knows that when I don't reply to a text or pick up the phone, I'm busy with something and will respond when I'm able. I've known guys who get interrogated about why they didn't immediately reply or take a call. If I ever had a woman be that controlling, I'd ask her if she expects me to send her an email alert every time I take a piss. Maybe attach a picture for proof too? Guys should spot this sort of instant gratification expectation in a woman early and get rid of them before the woman drives them nuts with their attention addiction issue. That's reasonable. As they say, a text is not a summons. The saying of words, I love you, is basically the ultimate F you to your life and handing over its reins to control to the woman. Now she gets more comfortable around you, she starts making boundaries. Friends you should have and friends you need to let go. Stop spending too much time on your personal hobbies. Give up meat and change your diet to be vegan leaning. Invest in a bigger house so she can move in. Keep the toilet seat up. Stop smoking cigars and give up beer. Don't invest too much time in the gym. Stop talking to female acquaintances in your life and be her personal chauffeur, shopper, listener, psychiatrist, and part-time lover. Is it really worth it at the end when men make all the compromise just to have a little bit of sex? Absolutely not. Stay single. So none of these things are boundaries. They're demands. And if someone tries to control your friend group and diet, leave that relationship ASAP. None of that is reasonable or okay. I will say, though, I'm pretty sure he meant leave the toilet seat down, and that's a reasonable request if you live together. Getting sex or getting your desires fulfilled is a platinum boundary. Gentlemen, the subreddit Dead Bedrooms is growing for a reason. If a woman shames you for wanting your desires to get met, ask her if she would work for a job that only pays once a year. By all means, if you're sexually unfulfilled in your relationship, break up. But you don't get to make boundaries about someone else's body. I would add, a history of mental illness is a no-go for a long-term relationship or marriage. You can't fix crazy. Also, if she takes any prescription medications whatsoever, it should be an absolute no-go. They are either psych, mental health meds, or signal a chronic medical condition. Neither is worth getting entangled with. Well, I'm out. Every couple months I take a 10-day course of progesterone, and though my Graves' disease has been in remission for 3 years, someday it will relapse and I'll have to take a med for it again. Shame. He sounded so nice. Never let a woman cut her hair short without your approval and consent. No one wants to come home to Hillary Clinton. 13 likes and 2 replies. I agree on this one. Anything below shoulder length is a no-no, unless she has to do it for medical reasons. Second reply. Too many women fail to understand that a woman's hair is half her beauty. Cutting it off should not be taken lightly. Number 10. If she is on any social media and posts any pictures of herself, it all gets deleted and phone is always unlocked. One response. Just being on social media is usually considered a red flag. These two have been listening to Fresh and Fit too much, but here's some red flags. Someone demands you delete your social media and keep your phone unlocked? Nope. It's fine if you're uncomfortable with social media and you don't want pictures of yourself posted on there, but you don't get to make that decision for someone else. I would add, the man is the decision maker on any and all issues that will arise. Also, she must understand her man will be her number one priority. So his boundary is that she must make him her number one priority? That's not a boundary. That's just being self-centered. Most experts say you are not supposed to reveal your boundaries to your adversary, or partner. If you do, most women will immediately test them, or if not, they will push hard right up against them for the rest of the relationship. Your boundaries are for you, not them. If you consider women your adversary, I hope you're not dating them. And yes, you should be able to tell someone your boundaries and have them respected. Your boundaries are for you, but how can someone respect them if they don't know what they are? And if they do know and try to test them, especially on purpose, ends the relationship. And that is it for this video. I hope you have a great day, night, whenever you happen to be watching this, and I will see you next week. Bye!